The first time was so nice, we had to do it twice. What are you man saying? What, Arsenal fans? Come chat to me. Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, all you fans, come chat to me now, yeah? Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done it already, please click the subscribe button. Follow me across all my social media platforms at Off the Canvas Boxing on Instagram, YouTube, bruv, the whole shebang is in the description box below. Literally click on it and it'll take you straight to actually, you know what, add me on Twitter specifically, because I have a lot of my wild takes on Twitter, and this is where I interact mostly with my fans, is on Twitter. On Instagram it's a bit more professional, you know what I mean, but Twitter is becoming now my new hotspot. Okay, but let's talk about the Haney versus the Linares fight yesterday. Now this one is weird, man, because I'm looking at Devin Haney and I was telling Adi, bearing in mind guys, if you haven't done it, watch that video I done with Adi, the podcast. I talk about a lot of things in that. I talk about not only Haney and Linares, we talk about the state of boxing, Josh Taylor, why is he not promoted, women's boxing, why that isn't as big as it should be. What else? We talk about Dillian White, we talk about AJ, we talk about a lot of things, okay? And we talk about just general how boxing is so flawed and there's a lot of things that can be improved. And we talk about that for like an hour, man, and it was one of the best conversations I've had before. So head over to my channel and click that video, because that video is immense, okay? That video is going to stand the test of time, and let's get added to 30,000 subscribers, okay? Now, okay, let's talk about David Haney versus Linares. For the first sort of 8 to 9 rounds, Haney boxed emphatically. Some of the best boxing I've seen in a while. And that's when I looked at Haney and I was like, wow, how good is this guy? This guy is showing that he can mix with the big boys. Stylistically, he's causing Linares all sorts of problems. Jabbing him off. His jab is emphatic. I'm sorry, his jab is one of the best jabs in the game. I don't think there's any person. He's definitely up there with top 3 jabs currently in boxing, in the male division specifically. Currently, I would say so. The few people with good jabs, Joe Joyce has got a good jab, and Canelo, he's not known for a good jab, but he's decent at one. Vasily Lomachenko is decent at a good jab. There's not a lot of good jabbers in the game, okay, and he's definitely one of them. So when he would jab it off Linares, I would say, wow, this guy is immense. Now he reached the 8th or 9th round, and what he decided to do was a bit weird. He was winning the fight through his tactic. He was winning the fight through his game plan. But he decided to then try to beat Linares at Linares' game. And that's when I looked at Haney and said, wow, now you're 22 years of age. Now I can see why he said, because it looks like the first 8 or 9 rounds just showed your level of maturity. The last 3 rounds showed the level of your immaturity. He tried to beat Linares at his own game, and this is where he got caught. Tried to strike with Linares with was it a simple 1-2, but what happened is that Linares kind of counter-punched. Linares slipped the shot slightly, or leant towards his left or right hand side. I can't remember which side it was. And then what he decided to do was throw a sweet combination punch, okay, and he threw it so well that he ended off with he ended off with a left hook. I think he threw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots left hook. Bang! Hit Haney's chin. Haney was a bit more wobbled. Okay, Haney starts, what's it called? Tried to. Look up, bruv. Look at this whip, fam. Bruv. Check out, bruv. Bad boy whip, yeah? Sorry. When I filmed the Chelsea and Kensington video for Hold on. This, bruv, whips after whips. Bruv, listen, yeah, it's a mad place out here. Anyway, when I filmed the Chelsea video, I decided to film the rest of it walking around, but it's such a nice area, bruv. Inshallah, we get a yard here, okay? Anyway, let's move on. Linares hit Haney with a good counter punch. Haney weathers a storm and proceeds on to, trying to, finish off the rest of the round. Walks back to his corner with Ben Davidson. Now, I start Ben Davidson. I was wondering how Ben Davidson is getting all these good jobs. He must be one of the luckiest. He must be one of the luckiest people in boxing. He must be, because the way he's getting all of these opportunities on his doormat is like, wow. How are you doing this, big man? How are you doing this? Anyway, he goes back and he's wobbling. Looks hurt. Alright, cool. Next couple of rounds, I think it was the next two rounds, what happened was that he got caught with another combination punches. And I think this one ended off with an uppercut that really, really, really rocked Devin Haney that time. But Devin Haney, again, weathered the storm and proceeded for the rest of the round to win it off. Cool. Started playing a bit. He got rid of the turbulence, and now he was in airplane mode. He was a lot more relaxed now, jabbing him off, trying to finish off the fight in clean fashion. Okay, try to see out the rest of the fight, run down the clock, and all of these sort of fighting tactics. Another good whip, fam. Bruv, there's so much good whips around here. Anyway, bruv, the whips, fam. Yeah, bruv, you'd have thought I was in the bloody the races. The amount of whips here, fam. My goodness, fam. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Haney finished off the fight. I think the judges scored it 116, 112, or one of them had it 115, 113. It's fair enough. I can't really complain, because he dominated the first early part of the fight. But people are saying, look, he got really, really hurt, and yes, he did. But he needed, the thing is, I'd rather a fighter get rocked early than get rocked late. Let me be honest. When you get rocked late whilst you're tired, it's more chances of you getting knocked out. Getting rocked early means that you can recover better. But he, first 8 rounds, and this is what I was saying. If you finish off the fight slow, people remember that first. It's like the ending of a movie. People remember the ending of a movie as opposed to the first half of the movie. First half of the movie, people can't even remember half of the stuff. You know the way there? Maybe the right at the beginning, but the sort of the middle third of the movie, no one remembers that part. So Devin didn't finish off strong. Ryan Garcia, what's his name? Teofimo Lopez comes out, and they stick on him and say, look, I would have finished off that guy. Lopez put up an emoji with a dinner plate on, basically emphasizing that I'll eat this guy for lunch. And you know what, with Lopez, he's got legs to stand up because he's a unified 135 pound world champion. Okay, arguably undisputed world champion. But I don't know what Ryan Garcia's going on about. My man got dropped against Luke Campbell. You got dropped by Luke Campbell. I don't know what you're chatting. Personally, that's just me. For me, let me just reverse. For me, I don't think that he should be cussing people in any way, shape or form, because you're currently mandatory challenger for Devin Haney. So you should be fighting Devin Haney next. I understand he's supposed to be fighting the likes of he wants to fight the likes of a Pacquiao or Gervonta Tank Davis. Pacquiao, of course, now is fighting Spence, so that just leaves Tank Davis. But Tank Davis, I ain't gonna lie, I think he's got a fight scheduled. I must be wrong, but Tank Davis ain't gonna fight him. Put it that way. So he's got Devin Haney left. I know he's supposed to have a fight, but due to mental health reasons, he He pulled out of that fight, and that's, first of all, your own physical and mental well-being is number one priority, definitely. And hopefully he gets better soon, and hopefully he gets back into the ring. I wanted to see him next against Devin Haney, 100%, because that's the only fight left, unless it's Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez is not world champion or not undisputed unless he fights Devin Haney. So it's Teofimo Lopez's best interest to fight Devin Haney, but it's also Ryan Garcia's best interest to fight Devin as well, because he's a mandatory challenger. But we will just have to wait and see. The rest of the card we're looking at was very, very good. Chantel Cameron, a very, very good performance from her. I thought the tempo of that fight was quite slow. Maybe it was just when we were watching it on the replay. Maybe it looked slower than it was, but I thought the tempo was quite slow in the female fight. The fight was, of course, stopped early. I don't know why the fight was stopped early, but these things happen, especially women's boxing. Because what I find more often than not in women's boxing is that they stop the fights early because they don't want to see a woman getting her head pounded in. And I was talking to Eddie about this yesterday, and I said, look, why they're not treated fairly or as fair as the guys? And he said, look, there is a stigma, and one of the biggest stigmas is a lot of guys feel uncomfortable watching women get beaten up, and not only just the fans, or some of the fans, sorry, because I'm not one of them. Some of the promoters as well, and you know what? Probably some of the referees and some of the judges and all. And this is where things get a bit more technical. They don't want to watch women get beaten up, so what they do is they throw it in the towel when. It's tough because they throw in the towel prematurely, but they justify it because they won the fight in earlier. If there was a guy in the ring in that position, they would not have stopped that fight. So maybe this opens up wider conversation about how we view women in boxing. Because look, this is a sport they signed up for. This is a sport that that male and female both compete in. So ideally, it would be good to have the same measuring stick, the same parameters, the same standard in both male and women boxing. And that's how I think. Ramal Ali had a good performance on the card as well. In her fight, very good jab, very rangy. In terms of just getting them out of there, she doesn't have that explosive power. But to be honest with you, you don't need explosive power to win boxing fights. You just need literally, you could jab them off. You go pop up jab and dance around the ring, and that's how you win. Not every single person is good. It is a Marvin Hagler of the situation where stepping back is a sin. You know the way there? Who else was on the card? The few other British fighters on the card, they didn't really do too well. I think we had an Irish lad on the card as well. He lost it. I'm not going to get into that too much. But all in all, was a good card. Devin Haney, I need to see him fight good next time. I need to see him fight good. Because this was very, very, very poor. Yeah? We need to see him against top of opposition where he smokes them. You don't need to knock him out. Yeah? You don't need to knock him out. But you need to put in a 9 out of 10 performance or a 10 out of 10 performance against a quality opposition, not a 10 out of 10 performance against crap opposition, and sort of a 7 or 8 out of 10 against top opposition. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, and he knows this. He knows this as well. So onwards and upwards, we've got Triple D, I think, this weekend. I could be wrong. Hopefully, if it is him, hopefully he wins against Bogdan Didi, the Romanian warrior himself. So best of luck for Daniel Dubois in that fight. And onwards and upwards, we're trying to get to 1k as soon as possible, guys. If you guys could do that and smash that like button, that would be much, much appreciated. Okay, peace, love and prosperity, guys, and I will catch you guys in a bit. Peace.